For over 40 years, a massive granite monument stood in rural Georgia, inscribed with instructions for rebuilding civilization after the apocalypse. Nobody ever knew who built it or why. Then, one night in 2022, someone blew it up, and the mystery only got stranger. This is the story of the Georgia Guidestones, sometimes called America's Stonehenge, a monument shrouded in secrecy from the very beginning and destroyed by an act of violence that remains completely unsolved. In June 1979, a well-dressed stranger walked into the Elberton Granite Finishing Company in rural Georgia, requesting the construction of an enormous monument. He introduced himself only as R.C. Christian, a name he openly admitted was a pseudonym. He insisted on total anonymity, working through a single trusted local banker, Wyatt Martin, who kept his real identity secret for the rest of his own life. Christian claimed to represent, quote, a small group of loyal Americans who wished to leave guidance for future generations. He paid for the entire project in cash, spared no expense, and gave incredibly precise, specific instructions for its construction, down to exact astronomical alignments. On March 22, 1980, the finished monument was unveiled. 6 massive granite slabs, over 19 feet tall, arranged in a striking X-shaped pattern, weighing more than 100 tons combined. The stones were engineered with genuine astronomical precision. A hole was drilled through one slab, specifically to track the North Star. Another aligned perfectly with the sun's solstice position, functioning almost like a modern Stonehenge. Carved into the granite in 12 different languages was a 10-part message for humanity, guidelines for rebuilding society after some unspecified global catastrophe. If mysteries like this keep you hooked, hit subscribe now, because Hidden Origins uncovers a new one every week. The messages themselves prove deeply controversial almost immediately. One guideline called for maintaining humanity's population under 500 million, permanently in balance with nature. Another called to guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Over the decades, the stones attracted both curious tourists and furious critics. Some religious groups labeled the monument outright satanic, while conspiracy theorists connected it to secretive plans for a new world order. Then, in the early morning hours of July 6, 2022, security cameras captured something shocking. A figure quickly approaching the monument, placing an object, then sprinting back to a waiting silver sedan. Moments later, an explosion tore through the site, destroying one of the massive granite panels entirely. For safety reasons, officials were ultimately forced to demolish what little remained of the structure. Investigators recovered surveillance footage of the vehicle and the bombing itself. But to this day, the identity of the bomber and their exact motive has never been confirmed or made public. Even more strangely, the true identity of R.C. Christian himself remains unconfirmed as well. Wyatt Martin, the one man who reportedly knew the truth, took that secret with him when he died in 2021, just months before the monument's destruction. A message meant to guide humanity for generations, built by a man whose real name nobody ever learned, destroyed by a bomber who has never been caught. Subscribe to Hidden Origins, because some mysteries end exactly where they began, in silence.